Well, hello there, here for a Game of the Day special with you guys. So we're obviously taking a break from Game of the Day at the moment as the season went down. It's actually back up now already. We are in the next season, and I have been playing a little bit, but not that much. The videos will come maybe in a couple of weeks, I don't know, we'll figure out. But so in the meantime, I do want to do a special for you all on Heal Engineer. So I've been playing some weird builds and strange concepts lately to have fun. One in particular I'm really keen to show you to do with a particular Guardian Necro combo. But today I want to talk about Engineer and Heal Engie. So this is a build that I made essentially working from the premise that I wanted to heal massively on Engie and you know, really go for the heal support. So just taking that in mind, I built everything around that. So Mender's Amulet, Monk Runes, you know, associated sigils. Like I got cleansing because we got a kit we're going to swap in and out of. There are some tough trait choices you need to make if you're going to go with this. In the, you know, sometimes it's about balancing protection and cleansing on and stuff. Instead, I'm all heals. So in particular, I'm running a Grandmaster. That means every time I heal myself, 50% of the value of that heal goes to people near me. So, and then it's medkit. Basically, this is the idea. I wanted to run a medkit healer. And on this video, we'll assess what it's like. It's a particularly fun game because this is the highest I have ever healed, as far as I remember, in PvP ever. This is an actual ranked game. The gameplay and rotations of mine are not even that good because I'm still getting used to all the different things I can do. But yeah, so we're on Scrapper. We get a function gyro. The only Scrapper skill I'm actually using is the Bulwark gyro. And the only reason I really have this is so that I can get the stability and reflect on the F4. And let's head on out. So I'm really excited to show you this game. It's honestly ridiculous. And I have to say, in terms of raw heal potential, this build is actually tuned to be every bit as good as Firebrand and Tempest. In fact, it might even be stronger in terms of raw heals. For numbers, it's fine. It's just all the other utility and stuff that I think means it's genuinely worse than those other two options right now. But I will note that if you want a lot of alacrity in PvP, a lot of you are going to think, oh, well, that's Chrono, right? You're going to want Chrono, you're going to run Renegade, and they've got their own limitations. Actually, the truth is, if you want a lot of alacrity, you want a Heal Engie. Seriously. Just because they can pick up Purity of Purpose, which means anytime they cleanse, they turn it into a boon. And obviously, it's not every game, but quite often you'll be against Chill, and all that Chill just turns into alacrity. So you get ridiculous alacrity uptime. And yeah, I'll show you how it actually works here. So, moving over the open, I use my Hammer 5 to create a lightning field, and then we use the Elixir Gun 4 to blast in it and move back. And I'll just open by being very clear. If you look at my comp, I do have one guy I can kind of support, a Rev. The rest of it's all really bunkery, bruisey stuff. Bunkery, bruisey Soul Beast, I think I have. We have a bunkery, bruisey Sword Weaver. We have a bunkery, bruisey other Scrapper. Yeah, 2 Scrappers in this game. I've shown you a legit game on the actual, much more meta Demolisher Scrapper build. This guy's probably running in another video. So, yeah, this is one of the reasons why we're going to be able to heal so much, because everyone's already innately reasonably tanky. So anyway, we move on to the node. We block a bit, build some barrier with our hammer, go straight into the med kit, and I'll talk about some of the combos as soon as they're relevant here, because some of you guys watching this video won't even know what med kit does right now. Anyway, so that guy scored a mower. We're just trying to get extra pressure down because, as you can see already, there's no damage basically on the node. Trying to CC. We're on supply crate as well. Some of you might sniff at that and think, why are you on supply crate? It's because the supply drop, first of all, when you're pure heals, the med packs heal for a lot, and it's a lot of really fun, weird gameplay. But also, as you drop the med packs down, it cleanses every single condition of the game all at once in one big pulse. And of course, that means that you apply all boons in the game if you hit it at the right time. So the tool belt skill on supply crate is incredible. And hey, an AoE stun, it's not too bad. So yeah, anyway, we got lots of pressure here. There I just triggered my F1, which is kind of my self-heal. That's what applies my barrier from the Scrapper trait for what it's worth. And 50% of it goes to my allies. So here we got a bit of pressure. I can talk about what I'm doing. We're using the Elixir Gun Super Elixir, which heals massively, but also cleanses, okay? So we proc that. We go into Elixir. Actually, I think I got stunned as I was trying to drop it, so that never landed. But that was the idea. Then we go into Elixir S to resustain a little bit. My ally's a bit low, so we want to heal him up. We stun over him. Okay, so here I use the 3. This creates the water fields, which also cleanses, and that means mass boon application as well. Then we use the 5. Now this is 3 boons, and it explodes as a blast. So you actually combo the blast field here, and you can pick up a trait that means that's even stronger as well. So there you go, we get a heal field. Anyway, now I need to function gyro res that, but I was too late, and my guy goes down. So now I stealth this body and myself, and I res with the function gyro instead. So this is actually one benefit that this has. You can actually kind of stealth people. All right, this is really important. So I got condied really hard there. How did we cleanse? I don't know. I can't remember what I did to cleanse there. But anyway, we cleanse. We resustain a little bit. We supply crate. We definitely need it. So the supply crate will drop a healing turret. So if you look here, I supply crate, use my F1, which heals me a good amount. And then my supply crate heal turret cleanses and heals me again. And my ally. We get more cleanse out. Once again, we get hit pretty hard. This is very weak against power pressure, by the way. So you've got to be quite careful of that. The 4 is basically just a straight up chunk heal. Drop the 5 again. Go for some blocks. Stun over this. More cleanse here. And yeah, we're basically just going to be resustaining and fighting for this node. Now, this is going to be a really long game. And in terms of skill execution, is not going to be too much for me to talk about. So there's 2 videos I really want to make. One is about this build, and the other is about this game. And I'm kind of trying to do them both at once, so we'll see. Anyway, there's some good heals there. And of course, on a Rev, it's not too bad, because he's got a good variety of boons on him already. So the more boons we give our allies, which we do through conversion, the more our heal kit auto heals for, and the more rapidly we can sustain them. So here again, this guy's a little bit low. Trigger the water fields. Try and sustain as much as possible. And I kind of just want to stick with my Rev as much as possible. There you see we get a big 4K. Going with a couple of autos. Prevent some projectiles using the hammer 2 there. When people go down, I quite often use the alchemy guns, poison fumigate. You're just going to throw that on a body to reduce res potential. It doesn't really do much damage. It actually feels very low impact. I think one of the lowest impact skills in the game right now is Elixir Gun 2. But hey, there we get some really nice heals on the Rev. That was very, very cool to see, actually. Here I get kind of counter bursted a little bit. We block. Now, what I can also use is my skill 3 on the hammer quite aggressively, which will evade for me. Once again, I let a guy die. That's my fault. You see, I actually tried to stealth the body, but a little bit too late. Actually, I don't think that one was my fault. I think I tried to stealth the body, but he revealed himself. Either that or it was slightly too late. There I was going to try and interrupt the churning earth with the hammer 5, but wimped out in the end. So here you can see my cleansing sigil is doing a lot for me every time I go in and out of the... Well, not every time. Most of the time I go in and out of the elixir gun. Rampage is up, so what we want to do is chain our blocks and things. You can actually use the projectile reflect there as well, because you can pretty much guarantee they'll try and throw a boulder. This guy's kind of low, so just chaining the elixir gun autos. Staying on node because we don't want it decapped, but my other scrap is here anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter. But yeah, so we win mid there. And knowing that they're on respawn, I can kind of just grind through this for a second. I'm actually just getting hit really hard, to be honest, and resustaining for no reason. My scrapper is going to be more than tanky enough. He doesn't actually need my support at the same time here whatsoever. So it's a bit silly for me to be here right now. And now our 15 seconds is probably up, so we're going to want to move on. This guy's stuck in... Oh, yeah, I remember this. So this guy got stuck in terrain. People never know how to get out. What you have to do, I promise, guys, is go to character select and then double-click the character icon and get back in straight away. As you try and leave the map, it will tell you you're going to get punished and penalized and dishonor and all that stuff. But you won't as long as you load in again very quickly. So that's the idea. So I walked over to my friend, stuck in the wall, typed to him on how to escape, and then came back up to resustain in this fight here now. Which is now turned into a 3v3. Sorry, a 3v2. Yeah. So we're actually... This is pretty good because we're outnumbered right now. And this outnumber of ours would be winning us the whole game, but we've got an ally who's got stuck in terrain. So it's actually just sort of keeping an even kill. So anyway, this is pretty dangerous, but I can elixir S. I triggered a function gyro stomp there in S. So there we actually stomped there as we just pulled away. What I was trying to do is walk away from the body there, because if anyone tries to CC me and it happens to be area of effect, it might accidentally CC my gyro at the same time. So that was the idea with that. And this is really good. We're winning a 3v2 here, unless I'm reading this wrong on Game of the Day. And I'd pause and look at it a little bit slower, but it's going to be such a long one. Here, resustaining this guy really nicely as well. You notice we also get a lot of barrier value. I think that my scrapper is on sanctuary runes. That's why you see that I'm giving so much barrier. Now, I don't know whether that combos with my Scrapper trait. I think it would be amazing if it did, but I can't be sure. I've got to kind of stay on this node to stop the warrior capping it. These are such slow, grindy fights that, you know, you really don't want to let them get those ticks. That's a thing that Elixir X would be better for, admittedly. The blowouts and stuff, but honestly, that tool belt skill is incredible. On this matchup, there's actually not much Condi against us. There is a Malix Rev, who you saw for a second there, and I actually love fighting against the Malix Rev, because he applies Burning, which I immediately convert into Aegis, and he provides lots of Torment, which we're also just getting rid of straight away. A lot of what my build can do is I'm not getting any value out of unless there's someone here. But honestly, guys, this is so fun. If you fight against, like, a Scourge, this is so strong that you, with a med kit, you can wade into a Scourge's elite and trigger your med kit skill 3 plus like a super elixir or whatever, and you could just hang out in them. You can actually turn those Scourge elites into like boons for big boons and help for your team. Really, it's so nice. It really, really is very fun. Obviously, you can't face tank their Condi forever, but you can burst out your saving abilities right when they burst out their aggression and really feel like you're eliminating them in a big way. It's really good. So anyway, more heals. Around now, I realise I've just been brawling in mid, and it's kind of a stupid game, by the way. Right, this isn't a high-tier game. This isn't a high-tier build or anything. Before anyone starts whining about that in the comments, it's for fun, right? It's a weird game, but I'm realising, hold on, I'm stacking a lot of heals right now. I'm stacking a lot. So, about now in the game, I start thinking, right, I'm playing for my biggest heals ever in an actual ranked game. Let's see what we've got. So here, look at the boon spread there. I had the Aegis and stuff up as well. So nice. So yeah, that's the idea. And we'll see how we go as we move. I'm still just in mid, grinding away and grinding away, which is kind of a spectacle all on its own, I think, in a certain way. Here we get full cap before that holo can get on, which actually proves to be quite instrumental. Gives us extra points for the next long while if you watch as this fight goes along now. If he'd got on a little bit earlier, we wouldn't be getting anything. The enemy team's actually in the lead at the moment, as it is. So anyway, I'm just trying to apply pressure. I only get off when I absolutely have to, like here, for example, to resustain this this Scrapper. And now I can come over to this guy as well. We score a kill. I could obviously S stomp. I go for the stealth stomp here and with my allies too. That wasn't really necessary. One thing that's very fun on this Scrapper build, I don't think you'll see it on this episode, is if a warrior's down or something, you can walk on the body, obviously to just obstruct the projectiles, but you can use the hammer too as well to reflect. You can do that with downstate NGs and stuff as well. So yeah, there I was just looking at the scoreboard and noting how much healing I've done. I think I'm probably on like 700k right now, which is a lot. All right, so we're about so there's only 6 minutes left on the clock, right? So you might think, well, Christ, WP, there's not much of the game that should be left right now with 6 minutes left on the clock, but we're not even at 50% of the point score right now. It's insane, and I'm already at 700k heals. So it's kind of like the dream, just loads of tanky ass stuff with me on. They got no pressure. So here I go too far. Once again, we're outnumbered 2v3, so we're gonna be careful with this. But you know, as long as he's tanky enough to sustain, they're not really hitting me. I'm just healing him up as much as possible. The frequency of the green numbers should be really quite telling here. I think that was a good supply crate, honestly. The stuns into the immobes there might have really helped him, because he was looking pretty low for a second. But just continuing to resustain. I'm not taking any focus right now. As soon as I see I get a little bit, I put my gyro up. Oh, there okay, the gyro blew up super quick there. All right, so I got a lot of torment here, and we obviously want to get rid of it. I think I'm just going to equip my kit and use the skill 3. There you go, and that converts it. Keep healing our Rev, and this is a Rev, guys. I think he was on planar protection, wasn't he? So he might not be a totally standard Rev build. Once again, the super elixir. He's looking a bit low. Down he goes. But guess what? We're a Scrapper. Function gyro, baby. So I gyro, and now I need to resustain. So I stand still so that I don't get hit with the torment. Jump up on the boxes. Trigger the F1. They can't stop. Look, the body's still there because of my gyro. And then I had a big decision to make. Should I go for the dream and try and res my ally, or no? And I decide not. So my gyro there held the aggro of 2 enemy players, thus allowing me to resustain against the Rev and escape. Really nice. Here we got a lot of Condi, but the medkit F3, skill 3's up. So we can just trigger that. I actually dodge back into the field there because I would have been at risk otherwise. Here I'm not healing very well, honestly. We can stealth this body, though, right as the stomp goes. And I think I got the timing right, but I think he revealed himself because he was auto-attacking, which is a bit of a shame. But that's a powerful thing that we can do here. Firebrands can't. Well, I mean, they get Mercy, which is kind of the equivalent and better, frankly. But hey, again, this isn't really a case that this build's better than Firebrand. It's just much more potent and effective than I was expecting. Let me put it that way. Not that this video is even a demonstration of that because of the stuff we're against. It's all very tanky, but still. Anyway, so we come back into mid. Going for as much heals as possible. 3 minutes left on the clock. And we're pretty behind right now. So here comes a bit of a comeback, guys. Not to spoil this, but we are going to win this game. Here I'm just brawling in mid, going for heals rather than any kind of intelligent rotation or play whatsoever. So we just continue staying on node. This Hollow is like making such a mistake here. 1v4, and he actually thinks it's relevant. I put, he's actually getting quadruple stomped there. Two function gyros, 2 scrappers stomping him all at once. That's pretty bad. Rev comes in, which I'm pretty happy with, and is kind of suicide. This secures us the double cap at this point. I need to kind of help my guy on far who's trolling, but we are in a 2v2 ultimately. It's this constant me and this other scrapper in the 2v2s, and he's always taking the focus. And I can just keep playing into his sanctuary runes. There we get a nice cancel cast on the acid bomb. Acid bomb's a nice way that I can subtly pressure as long as this remains on node. Here we really don't need to be in medkit, but may as well just use the cooldowns while they're there because they actually come back pretty quick. Again, you'll see we had a lot of alacrity there. The alacrity is coming from the Revenant using chill on his unyielding anguish skill. My far point player has realized he's outnumbered and he's kited towards the team for resustain. So I immediately get off the node and help him with that, knowing my scrapper is going to stay on the node. So that's a really nice play that we can keep him alive there. Heal up as much as we can. One thing I'm not very good at, if you really scrutinize this, because I'm not very good at this build right now, I'm not very used to it. I mean, I only just made it. Is using Elixir Gun as a stun break. I often find myself getting confused. I think that the stability from the Purge Gyro is the stun break, and the Elixir Gun is Condi Cleanse. So I kind of use those two cooldowns in the complete wrong way. So, 2 minutes left on the clock. We're closing the gap with this next kill here. I just want you guys to ask yourselves at this point in this ridiculous, stupid game, what do you think my heal score is going to be? I've already told you it's the most I've ever healed. Alright? And we've seen maybe what we were at before. I'm deliberately not looking at the scoreboard anymore because I want to surprise myself. And I'm just going to say, the ballpark I was going for was 1 million. 1 million's a really high healing amount. Very, very, very high. And I've actually never... I've done it on Tempest, but not on Firebrand. And I've only just started playing Heal NG here. So 1 million is what I was hoping for. Anyway, it was extremely useless me going too far there. Pretty cringeworthy. I come back towards mid. Again, I'm mostly just thinking about healing here. My guy's low, but we come in. He's a tornado, so he resustains quite nicely. We immediately turn those bleeds into boons. Look at my alacrity uptime right now. Look at the boon, the alacrity. Okay? That's AoE, guys. It's a lot. And it's one of the more interesting sides of this. I have so much of it that by the time... Look, it's still not gone off. That by the time my cleanse field comes back very quickly as well. So here I actually think we're going to throw. If you look at the minimap, you'll see our only node was our ranger at one of the side nodes. And he was bailing out. I was pinging furiously because I just wanted him to fight. I would have come and supported him. Now, I know he's low and he left. So I type in chat the throws because we've just been double capped, right? And now in the next few seconds with this double cap, theoretically we lose the game. So I thought it was a throw. I just wanted my ranger to stay there. I could have ran along. He could have pet resed. I could have function gyroed. It would have been really nice. But he ran off, so now all I can do is stay in mid to stop them decapping this. This is ultimately extremely important, okay? So the enemy team just equalized in point score. They're now in the lead. 19 seconds left on the game. They're going to win, okay? But we get a kill, so we go back out in front just ever so slightly. I'm 2v1 and just tanking this as much as I can, and I'm fine tanking these two fairly weak builds. Again, supply crate can help me here while I tank these down. If they kill me, we lose. We score another kill, so we go in the lead again a bit, and a quick neutralize. And so, with those 2 kills and that nuke right at the end, plus me holding them 2v1 without getting decapped, we do actually win the game. Hilarious. So... such a stupid game, a freaking timeout, and now let's look, okay? We did 250,000 damage, which is kind of pathetic. It's only 12% of the team. It's a low pressure healer, very much. We got 11 kills, 0 deaths. This says 1 revive. We actually were responsible for more. I don't think that if you get a function gyro res, I don't think it counts for the stats board. It's one of the things the devs need to look at. 205 offense and 185 defense. This is actually quite high for these values here. Usually on supports, I'm very node lossy, but here we were just on it all the time. That's more just a consequence of the type of game this was rather than the build. But the big one, the heals we got, this is the most heals I've ever seen. 1,223,000 heals in a single game, which percentage-wise is also pretty significant. We're at almost 60%. So yeah, really, really funny, I think. And a weird game, a weird builds. And I thought you guys might find it interesting. So yeah, I may come back with some of these other silly little experiments later. I might even play a bit more Heal NG. I do genuinely like it. It suffers when it's focused too much, essentially, is one of the big problems. And it doesn't quite have some of the utility that the other builds do. Maybe we'll do a serious look at it when I play it more seriously and more carefully and rotate correctly. But yeah, I thought this would be fun. For the meantime, guys, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you when I see you.